All right, subtracting decimals, very similar to adding decimals. We're just subtracting instead of adding, and putting those zeros becomes even more important. My first step, just like with adding, is to line up my decimals, again, so that my places line up. That's why we do it. Step 2, that's very important when we subtract, is to, sorry, I'm not going to say add zeros because we're not adding them, we're just writing them. Write zeros. And then we subtract like normal. And we have to remember to borrow. That's going to be the hardest part about this for some of you, is remembering to borrow when the top number is smaller than the bottom number. Do some examples. All right, 27 and 35 hundredths minus 11 and 22 hundredths. Notice I lined up my decimals. They're both 2 digits after the decimal, so I don't need to write any zeros. 5 minus 2 is 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. 6 and 1, and bring down my decimal. So no borrowing required on that one. Pretty straightforward. This one at the bottom. Don't erase your work if you wrote it, but I'm going to erase it just so I have enough space. You should have enough space on your paper, but I want to make sure I really have enough space to show you what we need to do. So 45 and 6/10 minus 12 and 89 hundredths. Now notice we have this blank space here. We need to put a 0 there. I can't do nothing minus 9. If I didn't write a 0 there, I have nothing take away 9, which I can't do. I need to have something there, so I have to write that 0. I can't just do 6/10 minus 89 hundredths. It's much easier to do 60 hundredths minus 89 hundredths, which I still can't do without borrowing, right? I can't do 0 minus 9, so I need to go next door, take 1 from there, give it there. So 0 becomes 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. 5 minus 8. I cannot do that, so I need to borrow again or regroup. I'm just taking a group from here, and I'm giving it there. So 15 minus 8 is 7. 4 minus 2 is 2. 4 minus 1 is 3. Bring down my decimal. So I get 32 and 71 hundredths. Because if I didn't, and I just left it as 0.6 and 0.89 like that, if I just put a 9 there, and then like went and borrowed, and like I would end up with 0.89 instead of 0.71. So I do have to put that 0 before I subtract, including my regrouping. Okay? So most important thing is just remembering to borrow. All right, whole number without a decimal here. What do? I write a decimal at the end. Hopefully that's what you were thinking. Put the decimal, minus 2 and 7/10. Put my 0 here so that they are the same length. 0 minus 7. I cannot do it. I have to go get 1 from next door. That becomes 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. 5 minus 2 is 3. 5. And my decimal straight down. Again, which makes sense. 56 minus 2 and 7/10, which is close to 3, end up about 53. 53 and 3/10. Go ahead, try this last one. Pause me and then unpause me when you're done. All right, hopefully you gave it a shot. See if you're right. 406 and 5/10 minus 93 and 17 hundredths. My decimals are lined up. I have to put a 0 there because my top one is shorter. 0 minus 7. I cannot do that. I need to go next door. 5 becomes a 4. 0 becomes a 10. So I'm just taking, remember, because 1/10 equals 10 hundredths. So I'm just taking 1 and moving it over, which changes the name, but I'm not actually changing the value. I'm just moving it over. 10 minus 7 is 3. 4 minus 1 is 3. 6 minus 3 is 3. All sorts of 3's on this one. 0 minus 9, I can't do it. That's a 3. That's a 10. 10 minus 9 is 1, and then 3. Bring down my decimal. 313 and 33. All right. I know this one isn't on your sheet, so you don't have to write it with me, but I do want to show you one that has that double 0. So say I had like 41 and 3 tenths minus 16 and 216 thousandths. So I had to put 2 zeros there to make them the same length. So then I can't do 0 minus 6. I cannot borrow from this 0, so I have to go to there and borrow. So that becomes a 2. This would be a 10, but now I have to borrow from it, so it becomes a 9. Remember that? If I have multiple zeros in a row, the middle ones will become 9, and then the end one becomes a 10. Then 10 minus 6 is 4. 9 minus 1 is 8. 2 minus 2 is 0. 1 minus 6 I can't do. Borrow. 11. 11 minus 6 is 5. And then 2. Okay. Do we need to do one more example like that? Well, if you need one, keep watching. I'll just do one more. Let's see. If I had, say, 28 minus 3 and 549 thousandths. Okay, I'd write my decimal. 3 zeros this time. 0 minus 9, I can't do it, so I have to go all the way over to the 8, and that becomes a 7. This would be a 10, but I have to take one away from it for next door, so it becomes a 9. Again, that would be a 10, but I'm taking one away from it, so it becomes a 9. And then I have 10 there. 10 minus 9 is 1. 9 minus 4 is 5. 9 minus 5 is 4. 7 minus 3 is 4. 2. Bring down my decimal. Which again makes sense. 28 minus 3 to 4 is going to be about 24. Or 25. Okay? If you need more examples with that, practice subtracting, I'm more than happy to help you out. Just let me know. Good luck.